You're sitting in a coffee shop, alone. The noise around you clinking cups. Murmured conversations fades. Your phone's on the table. Her last text still glowing. Did I say too much, you think, or not enough? Your mind's already spinning, replaying every word you sent last night. It's just a text, but it feels like a battlefield. You're smart. You solve problems for a living. You write code, close deals, create content that thousands see. But this one message, it's got you trapped, overthinking, second-guessing. You're tired, not just from lack of sleep. Tired of the noise in your head, the weight of reacting. You're not alone. Most men watching this, we've all been there. Not because we're weak, but because we're human. We think fast, we feel deeply, we get stuck. And it's exhausting carrying that mental load. What if you could stop? Not fix everything, not become someone new. Just stop and breathe and see things clearly for once. What if you could let go of the habits, the traps that keep you spinning? Today, we're walking through 9 things. 9 things smart men like you keep doing with women. Not because you're wrong, but because they're heavy. 9 things you can release to feel a little more free. These aren't rules. They're reminders from Stoic wisdom, from life's key lessons. They're not here to change you. They're here to help you pause, to lighten the load. Let's begin. If you've ever felt stuck like this, caught in your own thoughts, leave a sign below, a word, an emoji, anything, not to make this channel grow, but to let someone else know they're not alone in needing this pause. Number 1, guard your past. You're at dinner, her eyes are on you. She asks about your life, your story, and before you know it, you're spilling it all. That job you lost, the breakup that broke you, the mistake you still carry. You think it's bonding, showing you're real. But then, weeks later, those words come back. In an argument, in a careless jab, they're weapons now. Smart men do this. They open up too soon. They think vulnerability is trust, but it's not always. Marcus Aurelius said, not everything needs to be spoken. Your past is yours. A vault, not a story for every listener. Think about it. You share that one failure, the one you still haven't forgiven yourself for. You share it to feel closer, to prove you're honest. But what happens? She doesn't see you stronger. She sees a crack, a weakness, something to poke at later. Not because she's cruel, but because people use what you give them. It's not about hiding. It's about protecting. Your story is precious. It's yours to guard. You don't owe anyone the whole book. Not yet. What if, instead of spilling everything, you shared just a page? A piece that matters. A piece that's safe? Seneca once wrote, "Old thoughts haunt us like ghosts." When you overshare, you're not just giving away stories. You're giving away power. Handing someone a map to your scars. And in a heated moment, that map becomes a target. Pause next time. Before you speak, ask yourself, does this need to be said now? Has she earned this part of me yet? Not to be cold, but to be wise. Your past isn't a burden to unload. It's a treasure to share carefully. Imagine a version of you, one who doesn't feel the need to explain every scar, one who holds his story close. Until the right moment. How free would that feel? How light? Number 2, embrace solitude. It's Friday night. Your phone's quiet. No plans, no texts, just you and the silence. Your first instinct, fill it. Scroll through contacts. Send a message. Anything to avoid being alone. You'd rather chase a reply than sit with yourself. Why? Because solitude scares you. Not the word, not the idea, but the feeling. That empty space where thoughts creep in and questions you don't want to face. So you stay in that chat, that situationship, that draining loop, because the noise of someone else feels safer than silence. Aristotle said, knowing yourself is the start of wisdom, but you can't know yourself if you're afraid to be alone. Smart men, they run from solitude. They think it's failure, weakness, loneliness, but it's not. It's power. I've seen men, brilliant men, stay in toxic relationships, not because they love her, but because they fear the quiet. They'd rather endure drama, disrespect, than face an empty evening. It's like clinging to a sinking ship because you're afraid of the water. Here's the truth. When you fear being alone, you give away your strength. You let anyone fill that space, even if they drain you. You settle for noise, because silence feels like a void. But what if it's not a void? What if it's a canvas? Stoics knew this. They said, solitude isn't emptiness, it's clarity. A man who can't be alone doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't know if he's with her for love or for fear. But a man who can sit with himself, he's free. Free to choose, free to wait, free to walk away. Start small. Spend an hour alone. No phone. No distractions. Walk in the park. Sit with a coffee. Just be. Notice what comes up. The thoughts. The fears. Don't run from them. Let them pass. Because the more you face solitude, the less it owns you. Imagine this. A night where you don't need a text to feel whole. A mind that doesn't panic when the phone stays quiet. That's not loneliness. That's strength. That's a man who knows himself and doesn't need anyone to complete him. What would it feel like to not be afraid of your own company? To find peace in the quiet instead of chasing noise? Number 3. Value your time. It's TOP. Man, you're still texting her, trying to decode her last message, crafting the perfect reply. You've spent an hour, maybe 2, on this one conversation. Your gym bag's untouched, your books unopened, your night's gone. And for what? A chat that's going nowhere. Time is your currency. But you're spending it like it's endless, Seneca said. It's not that life is short. We just waste so much of it. Smart men do this. They pour hours into women who don't pour back. They wait for calls, overthink silences, chase closure that never comes. Think about it. How many weekends have you lost trying to fix a fight? How many plans have you cancelled just to keep her happy? You tell yourself it's effort, it's care, it's love, but deep down, you know it's not equal. You're giving pieces of your life to someone who sees you as an option. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is a river. Once it flows, it's gone. Every hour you spend on the wrong person is an hour you can't take back. Not just hours, but energy, focus, dreams. You're not just losing time, you're losing yourself." I've seen men, talented men, put their goals on hold. They skip workouts, they miss deadlines, fade from their own lives, all for a woman who wouldn't do the same. They think they're building something, but they're just waiting for her to care as much, to see their worth. Here's a question. What if you treated your time like your money? Would you spend it on someone who doesn't invest in you? Would you pour it into a deal that's one-sided? No, you'd walk away. So why is your time any different? Next time, Pause. Before you send that 10th text, ask yourself, is this worth my hours, my energy, my peace? Not to be selfish, but to be clear. Your time is finite. Guard it like it matters. Imagine a day where you don't waste a single moment on what doesn't serve you, where your hours build you, not someone else's mood. That's not just time saved, that's a life reclaimed. What could you do with all those hours you've given away? What would your life look like if you chose you first? Number 4, own your path. You've worked hard, built something real, a project that took years, a skill you honed, a milestone you fought for. But when you're with her, you downplay it. You shrug off your wins, hide your ambition, act smaller. Why? Because you're afraid she'll feel threatened. Smart men do this. They dim their light. They think humility means hiding, that success is a burden. Epictetus said, "Don't be ashamed of what you've earned. Your path is yours. Your victories are yours. Why shrink them to fit someone else's comfort?" Think about it. You've seen it in others. Maybe in yourself. A guy who builds companies, but plays it down on a date. A man who wins awards, but calls it no big deal. He's not humble. He's afraid. Afraid she'll think he's arrogant, or leave if he shines too bright. Here's the truth. If your achievements make her uneasy, that's not your problem. It's hers. A strong woman doesn't shrink from your light. She's drawn to it. She doesn't want a man who hides. She wants one who inspires. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't be like those who resent you. Don't dim yourself. Just because someone can't handle your fire, your path, your work, your wins. They're not boasts. They're proof of who you are, of what you've overcome." I've known men, brilliant men, who buried their dreams. They stopped chasing goals because she felt left behind. They traded their purpose for her approval, and years later, they barely recognized themselves. What if you didn't hide? What if you spoke about your work with quiet pride? Not to impress, but to own who you are. What if you trusted that the right person would celebrate your path? Your achievements aren't a threat. They're a story of effort, of grit, of you. The right woman won't ask you to rewrite it. She'll want to read every chapter and write new ones with you. Imagine a life where you don't apologize for your fire, where your path is yours, and you walk it unashamed. How would that feel? To stand tall in your own story. Number 5, shield your mind. You're at your desk, phone buzzing. Her message pops up. Another vague, loaded comment. Your stomach twists. Your focus breaks. Suddenly, you're not working. You're worrying. Her mood, her words, they're in your head now. Smart men let this happen. They let their peace slip. They think relationships mean carrying her emotions too. Marcus Aurelius said, "Your mind is your fortress, but you're letting someone else's drama breach the walls." Think about it. How many nights have you lost sleep over her silence? How many days have you spent decoding her tone? You tell yourself it's normal. It's just how it is. But it's not. It's chaos. And it's stealing your clarity, your calm. I've seen men, strong men, crumble under this. They check their phones every minute, anxious for her reply. They overthink every word, every pause. They're not living, they're reacting. Their mind, once sharp, now feels like a storm. Here's the hard truth. If she's disrupting your peace, it's not love. It's a battle. One you're fighting against yourself. Your mental health isn't a sacrifice. It's a foundation. Without it, what do you bring to her? To anyone? Stoics knew this. They said, your mind is all you truly control. Not her mood, not her words, not her choices. So why give her that power? Why let her storms become yours? Next time, pause. When her text pulls you in, don't dive in. Set it aside. Breathe. Choose your peace first. Not to be distant, but to be whole. A man who guards his mind can face anything. Imagine a day where her words don't shake you, where your mind stays clear, no matter what she says. That's not coldness, that's strength. That's a man who knows his worth and protects it. What would it feel like to hold your peace above all else? To know no one can take it, unless you let them. Number 6. Stay true. You're at a party. She's laughing at a joke you don't find funny. But you laugh anyway, because it's easier. You nod along to her opinions, even when you disagree. You're not being yourself. You're performing. Why? Because you're afraid she'll walk away. Smart men do this. They bend who they are. They think it's compromise. But it's erosion, Epictetus said. You lose yourself when you try to be someone else. When you change for her, you're not gaining love. You're losing you. Think about it. How many times have you said yes when you meant no? How many times have you hidden your beliefs? To keep the peace, you tell yourself it's small. It doesn't matter, but it does. Every yes chips away at your core. I've seen men, good men, become shadows. They ditch their hobbies, their values, their friends. They mold themselves to fit her vision of her needs. And then she loses respect. Not because she's cruel, but because you're not you anymore. Here's the irony. The more you change for her, the less she wants you. Authenticity is magnetic. Performance is hollow. A woman doesn't want a mirror. She wants a man. Someone real. Someone solid. Someone true. Stoics knew this. They said suffering comes from betraying yourself. Every time you pretend, you pay a price. Not just in her eyes, but in your own. You look in the mirror and wonder where you went. Next time, pause. When you feel the urge to agree, to please, stop. Ask yourself, is this me? Or is this what she wants? Say what you mean, not what's easy. Not to fight, but to be honest. Imagine a life where you don't need to wear a mask, where your words, your actions are yours. That's not just freedom. That's power. That's a man she can't help but respect. What would it feel like to never apologize for being you? To know the right person will stay because of who you are? Number 7. Hold your dreams. You had a plan. A big one. A business to start. A book to write. A city to move to. But now, you're hesitating. She doesn't like the idea. Says it's too much. So, you pause. You wait. You let it fade. For her, smart men do this. They trade their dreams for love. They think it's a fair deal. A sign of commitment. Seneca said, no one can have everything, but you can choose what matters. Your dreams are your fire. Why let them burn out? Think about it. How many men have you seen put their goals on hold? They skip opportunities, delay plans for her schedule. They call it compromise, but it's surrender. And years later, they're bitter, not at her, but at themselves. I've known men, driven men, who lost their way. They gave up startups, passions, adventures, because she said later or it's risky. And slowly, their spark dimmed. They became someone they didn't recognize. Here's the truth. A real partner doesn't ask you to shrink your dreams. She joins you, or cheers you, or walks her own path beside you. If she's threatened by your ambition, she's not the one. Your purpose isn't a burden, it's your essence. Marcus Aurelius said, "Look within, there's a strength that never fades." Your dreams are that strength. They're you. Don't trade them. Don't pause them. Don't lose them. A man without a purpose isn't a man she'll admire. Next time, pause. When she questions your goals, don't bend. Share your vision. Invite her in, but don't stop. Not to be stubborn, but to be alive. Your dreams aren't just plans. They're your pulse. Imagine a life where you chase what sets you on fire, where your partner sees your drive and loves you for it. That's not just a dream, that's a legacy. That's a man who lives for himself and inspires others. What would it feel like to never let go of what makes you you? To know your path is yours, no matter who walks with you. Number 8. Keep your tribe. It's been months you haven't seen your friends. Family calls go unanswered. Group chats sit silent. You're spending every moment with her, or waiting for her. Your world's shrinking, and you don't even see it. Why? Because you think love means all in. Smart men do this. They cut off their roots. They think a relationship replaces everyone else. Plato said, "The greatest victory is over yourself." But abandoning your tribe? That's defeat. Think about it. How many times have you skipped a friend's birthday for her? How many family dinners have you missed? Because she needed you. You tell yourself it's temporary. It's fine. But it's not. You're losing your anchors. I've seen men, connected men, become islands. They ditch their buddies, their mentors, their family. They think they're building a future, but they're burning bridges. And when things go wrong, they're alone. The people who'd catch them are gone. Here's the truth. A healthy relationship doesn't isolate you. It adds to your life, not subtracts from it. Your friends, your family, they're your foundation. They were there before her. They'll be there after. Stoics knew this. They said no man stands alone, but every man needs his tribe. Your people ground you, remind you who you are. When you lose them, you lose your balance. And no one person can carry that weight alone. Next time, pause. When she asks for all your time, don't give it. Call your friend, visit your parents, keep your roots. Not to push her away, but to stay whole. A man with a tribe is a man with strength. Imagine a life where your relationships don't compete, where your partner respects your bonds and joins them. That's not just balance, that's harmony. That's a man who's never truly alone. What would it feel like to hold your people close, to know your tribe is there, no matter what comes? Number 9, stand alone. You're waiting for her text again. Your mood swings with her reply, or lack of it. If she's happy, you're happy. If she's distant, you're a wreck. Your peace, it's tied to her. And that's not freedom, that's chains. Smart men fall into this. They lean too hard. They make her their center, their everything. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not events." When you need her approval, you're not in control. You're a passenger in your own life. Think about it. How many times have you checked your phone, hoping for her name? How many plans have you shifted just to fit her schedule? You tell yourself it's love, it's devotion. But it's not. It's dependency. And it's draining you, bit by bit. I've seen men, capable men, become shadows. They live for her smile, crumble at her silence. Their happiness, their worth, it's all in her hands. And the worst part? She doesn't want that weight. No one does. Here's the paradox. The more you need her, the less she respects you. Not because she's cold, but because you're not you anymore. You're not the man she met, the one who stood tall. You're a mirror, reflecting her moods, her whims. Stoics knew this. They said, true strength comes from within, not from others. Your peace, your joy, it's yours to build. When you lean on her for it, you're borrowing happiness. And borrowed things can be taken away. Next time, pause. When you feel that urge to check, to please, to cling, stop. Put the phone down. Do something for you. Not to be selfish, but to be solid. A man who stands alone is a man she can't ignore. Imagine a life where your happiness doesn't wait for her text, where your worth doesn't hinge on her words. That's not just strength. That's freedom. That's a man who's whole, with or without her. What would it feel like to not need her, to feel complete, to know your peace is yours, and yours alone? That coffee shop, it's quiet now. Your phone's face down. The screen's dark. The noise in your head, it's softer, not gone, but lighter. You're still you, still human, still learning. These 9 things, they're not rules. They're whispers, reminders, nudges to slow down, to notice, to choose what deserves you. Not to be perfect, but to be present. You don't need to be louder or stronger or different. You just need to be still, to see what's already there in you, in your life, to let go of what's heavy and hold what's true. Until next time, stay still.